Namaskar. Today's topic is applications of Hahn-Banach theorem, and this is for the students of MSc Maths fourth semester and in the paper Functional Analysis fourth sixth paper. So for this, students must know the Hahn-Banach theorem, which states that if there exists a functional on closed linear subspace, then it can be extended to a whole space. So we will see some theorems and examples where the Hahn-Banach theorem is applied. So the first theorem tells us that let n be a normal linear space and x0 is a non-zero vector in n, then there exists a functional f0 in n star such that f0 x0 is equal to norm x0 and norm of the f0 equal to 1. In particular, if x not equal to y and xy belongs to n, then there exists a functional f belongs to n star such that fx is not equal to fy. So with the help of Hahn-Banach theorem, we will search such linear functional satisfy these conditions. So the proof is in this way. Let m equal to y such that y equal to ax0 be the subspace of S spanned by x0, and now y equal to ax0. This implies norm of the y equal to norm of the ax0 and equal to modulus a into norm x0, as a is the scalar. And now we define the functional f on m is this much, that fy equal to fax0 equal to a into norm x0. Now we will show that this is the linear functional. So for first we prove that this is the linear, and for this we take let y1 equal to ax0 and y2 equal to bx0 belonging to m, and c and d are any scalars, then we have f of the cy1 plus dy2 f of the cy1 plus dy2 equal to f cax0 plus dbx0, putting the value of y1 and y2, and after simplification we obtain this as f of the ca plus dbx0, and this is equal to ca plus db multiplied by norm of the x0 by definition of the f 4 by 2, and then this after opening this is ca norm x0 plus db norm x0, and now again using equation 2 for reverse definition of this f, that this is equal to c fax0 plus d bx0, and this is equal to c fy1 plus d fy2. So in this way we can say that this f is a linear. Also modulus of the fy equal to f modulus of the fax0, and this is equal to modulus a into norm x0, and this is equal to modulus a norm x0, and this is equal to y norm of the y by 1. Therefore modulus of the fy is equal to norm of the y. So we denote this by the equation 3. Then we have modulus of the fy is less than equal to 1 into norm y. Therefore we see that f is bounded. And now the value of norm f equal to, by definition of the norm of f function, this is equal to supremum modulus fy such that norm of the y equal to 1. And now apply the equation 3, this equation, we obtain this equal to supremum norm y such that norm y equal to 1, and this is becomes 1. Therefore we obtain that norm of the f equal to 1, Also fx0 equal to norm of the x0 by definition of the f. So hence by Hahn-Banach theorem, the functional f can be extended to a functional f0 on whole space such that norm of the f equal to norm of the f0 and f0 x0 equal to fx0 equal to norm of the x0 by definition of extension, and norm of the f0 equal to norm of the f equal to 1 by this equation 4. So in this way we obtained the required functional with these properties. Now in particular, if x not equal to y, then x minus y is not equal to 0, then as above there exists a functional f0 in n star such that f0 xy equal to norm of the x minus y is non-zero, because x minus y is non-zero element, and then by the linearity of the f0, this becomes f0 x minus f0 y is not equal to 0, and this implies f0 x is not equal to f0 y. So if we are having two non-zero element, then we can find a linear functional such that f0 x is not equal to f0 y, or their functional value is not. So next we consider second theorem, theorem 2. Let M be a closed linear subspace of a normed linear space N, and x0 a vector not in M. Then there exists a functional f in n star such that f of the m equal to 0 and f of the x0 is not equal to 0. So this theorem tells us that if M be a closed linear subspace of a normal linear space N and x0 a vector not in M, then there exists a functional f in n star such that fm equal to 0 and fx0 is not equal to 0. So we prove this in this way, that consider the natural mapping G from n to n by m such that Gx equal to x plus m. Then it is easy to see that G is a continuous linear transformation, and if m belongs to m, then Gm equal to m plus m, this is equal to m, and this is 0, is a 0 vector in n by m. So this 0 is a 0 vector in n by m, or in other words, we obtained that G of the m equal to 0. So we denote this as equation number 1, and also since x0 does not belongs to m, so we have Gx0 equal to x0 plus m not equal to 0. Hence by the previous theorem, there exists a functional f belonging to n by m star such that f x0 plus m equal to norm of the x0 plus m, and this is not equal to 0. So we denote this by equation number 2. So this f x0 plus m equal to x0 plus m norm, and this is not equal to 0. We denote this by equation 2. We now define f by fx equal to f of the gx. Here this is the composition of the f and g. Then we will see that f is linear functional on n with the desired property as shown below. First we prove that f is linear. So for this we consider f of the ax plus by, and this by definition of the f, this is equal to fg ax plus by, and this by the definition of the g we obtain this as f ax plus by plus m. and then applying the calculation, we can write this as a x plus m plus b y plus m, and then as f is linear, therefore we can write this as a f x plus m plus b f y plus m, and then apply the reverse definition of gx. We obtained this as a f gx plus b f gy, and this is equal to a fx plus b fy. So in this way, we obtained that f is a linear. Next, we show that this f is bounded, and for this, modulus of the fx equal to modulus f gx, which is less than equal to norm of the f into norm of the gx, which is again less than equal to norm f, norm g, and norm x. And this is less than equal to norm f, norm x, because norm of the g is less than equal to 1. So since this f is being a bounded, because this is a functional, so it follows from the above inequality that the f is bounded, thus f is a functional on n, that is f belongs to n star. Further, if m belongs to m, then f of the m equal to fgm, and this is equal to f0, because gm equal to 0 by equation 1. So we obtained, and f of the x0 equal to f gx0, and this is equal to f x0 plus m not equal to 0 by 2. So we obtained the such a mapping f which fx0 is not equal to 0 in this way. That f and fm equal to 0. So we have searched the such a mapping f which is linear bounded and such that fm is equal to 0 and fx0 is not equal to 0. Now we see the example. So let M be a closed linear subspace of a normed linear space N, and let x0 be a vector not in M, and if D is the distance of x0 to M, then there exists f0, a functional f0 in N star, such that f0 M equal to 0, f0 x0 equal to D, and norm of the f0 equal to 1. Here are three conditions on this f0, that f0 m equal to 0, f0 x0 equal to D, and norm of the f0 equal to 1. We search such a functional. So as by the definition of the distance of the element, we have D equal to infimum of the norm x0 minus x, such that x belongs to M. And this we denote as equation number 1. Now M is closed and x0 does not belong to M, so D is greater than 0. And now consider the subspace spanned by M and x0, that is M0 equal to x plus ax0, such that x belongs to M and A is real. This is spanned by M and x0, and since x0 does not belong to M, so each y belongs to M0 is uniquely expressible as y equal to x plus ax0. So if this is not possible, then we obtain the contradiction as this, that if not, then let y equal to x1 plus a1 x0, that this is another representation of y. Then as these two elements are equal, so we obtain x1 plus a1 x0 equal to x plus ax0, and after simplification we obtain x0 equal to x minus x1 upon a1 minus a belongs to M, because x1 belongs to M and M is closed subspace, so which is a contradiction. that x0 does not belongs to M. So now we define a mapping f on M0 by fy equal to f of the x plus ax0 and equal to AD. And this we denote as equation number 2. Then it is easy to show that f is a functional, and because of uniqueness of the y, f is well defined. So also f of the x0 equal to f0 plus 1 into x0 equal to 1 into d equal to d. And if x belongs to M, fx equal to fx plus 0x0, this is equal to 0 into d equal to 0. Therefore, we obtain fm equal to 0 for all x belonging to M. This we denote as equation 4, and fx0 equal to d. This we denote as equation number 3. Now we show that norm of the f equal to 1. So for this, we calculate this in this way, that norm f equal to supremum f modulus fy upon norm y such that y belongs to M0 and y is not equal to 0. And then this is equal to supremum of the y. Value of the y is x plus ax0 we put here, and now apply the definition of the fx plus ax0. This is AD, and now we calculate this as supremum of the d upon x upon a plus x0 such that x belongs to M, a belongs to R, and a is not equal to 0 because d is greater than 0 and ad equal to d modulus a. So this becomes d into supremum of the 1 upon norm x0 minus z such that z equal to minus x by a belonging to. So this is equal to d. So we reverse this inside quantity, then supremum will become infimum. So we can write this as d infimum norm x0 minus z, z belongs to M inverse, and this will become the definition of the d. Therefore, the value becomes d into 1 by d, and this is equal to 1. So in this way, we obtain thus f is a functional on M0 such that fm equal to 0 equal to fx0 equal to d, and norm of the f equal to 1. So this we denote as equation number 5. So thus f is a functional on M0 such that fm equal to 0, fx0 equal to d, and norm f equal to 1, and this we denote as equation. So now we apply the Hahn-Banach's theorem. Hence by Hahn-Banach's theorem, there exists a functional f0 on the whole space N such that f0 y equal to fy for all y belongings to M0, and norm of the f0 equal to norm of the f. So then from 5 it follows that f0m equal to fm equal to 0, and f0 x0 equal to fx0 equal to d, and norm of the f0 equal to 1. So we have obtained such a functional which satisfy all three conditions, that f0m equal to 0, f0 x0 equal to d, and norm of the f0 equal to 1. So in today's lecture, we have seen two theorems and one examples in which how the Hahn-Banach theorem is applied. So for more details, students can consider any reference book on functional analysis. I am Dr. R.P. Somani, Associate Professor in Mathematics. Thank you.